This week on Dateline Abuja, we celebrate the working men and women of our nation. Yes, the worker is the hero of Nigeria's story. The one who shows up come rain or shine and does his or her best to make whatever space they occupy better than they met it. The Nigerian worker has been on a roller coaster for decades. Very high highs and very low lows. But the Nigerian worker stays on that ride and can only demand better conditions under which they can thrive. Those conditions will be our focus tonight with the spokesperson of the Nigeria Labour Congress, who we will speak to after we update you on the major stories this week from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. New ministers nominated by the president while he meets with leaders from the plateau on insecurity. Distributed lands to new ambassadors sent to Nigeria and endorses the Lagos State Deputy Governor's governorship ambitions. It's time for Abuja Wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has told stakeholders from Plateau State to return home with open minds to seek peace and put a permanent end to the recurring crisis in the state. This followed a lengthy meeting that took place in the State House with a delegation made up of 32 men led by Governor Caleb Mutfwang. The president challenged the leaders to review past government-wide papers on security crisis and propose implementable resolutions for the government's consideration.
We are going to work together to establish state police. On a national scale. And I believe once we have a state police, enforcement of laws and others will take care of some of these problems. For us to stop creating widowers, orphans, there must be peace.
The Senate has approved a $516 million syndicated loan request by President Bola Tinubu to fund the construction of Section 1, Phases 1A and B of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway. The approval followed the consideration of a report during plenary presented by the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, chaired by Senator Aliu Wamako. The committee recommended that the financing arranged through Deutsche Bank AG be incorporated into the federal government's borrowing plan. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, explained that an earlier $5 million request by the President, earlier approved by the Senate, was yet to be assessed because of the Middle East conflict. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has approved the allocation of land to the newly posted ambassadors and high commissioners designate in Abuja. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, stated this when he hosted the envoys at his official residence in Abuja. The FCT minister stated that the president's decision stemmed from a desire to ensure that Nigeria's representatives have a permanent residence in Abuja anytime they return for periodic briefings. He also stated that the gesture is aimed at deepening diplomatic presence in Nigeria's capital while fostering stronger engagement between foreign missions and the FCT. The Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Iman Suleiman, has announced plans to host a 10 million women solidarity rally for the re-election of President Bola Tinubu. The minister made the announcement at a meeting in Abuja, stating that the march will also feature the disbursement of grants to women. She believes that President Tinubu is doing a lot for Nigerian women and deserves a comeback in 2027.
Mr. President has demonstrated a clear understanding that sustainable national progress is anchored on the strength of our homes, the empowerment of those who sustain them. His leadership has redefined governance as not merely economic expansion, but human-centered development, where women are empowered, children are protected, and families are strengthened as the foundation of a prosperous nation. Indeed, history will be kind in its judgment of the president, who chose to build not just infrastructure, but people, not just systems, but future.
And President Bola Tinubu has endorsed Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Obafemi Hamzat, as the party's governorship candidate for the 2027 election. The president gave his endorsement when he received the Governance Advisory Council of the Lagos State All Progressives Congress at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Mr. Hamzat, who addressed journalists after the president met with the council, confirmed that the president had endorsed the GAC's decision and given his blessing. And lastly, President Bola Tinubu has affirmed that Nigeria has become a very high destination for investment despite the many challenges confronting the nation. President Tinubu also stated that the economy has picked up and attracted unprecedented investment of billions of dollars in the hydrocarbon sector. President Tinubu stated this during a meeting with a delegation of the Civil Society Organization on Community Advancement and Humanitarian Empowerment Initiative. The president also emphasized that efforts to improve the security situation in the country were progressing, adding that the issue of state police was receiving attention.
Welcome back. Here's a breakdown of how the Workers' Day celebrations happened right here in the nation's capital. Please watch this.
Hundreds of Nigerian workers gathered at the Eagle Square to mark the 2026 Workers' Day in Abuja. The atmosphere is one of comradeship, with workers dressed in their regalia, adding color to the occasion. Labour leaders speak to the theme of the day, which is insecurity, poverty, bane of decent work.
What is the nature of relationship between government and those who create the nation's wealth? Is it through this engagement, through sincerity, trust and fidelity that leadership reveals its true intent? This year's theme, insecurity, poverty, bane of decent work, speaks directly to the harsh realities confronting the workers. The four pillars of decent work, employment creation, rights at work, social protection and social dialogue cannot thrive in an environment defined of fear and deprivation. Comrades, even the global framework of Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, recognizes the centrality of decent work through Goal 8. Any force that undermines decent work also undermines national development. Mr. President, we recall our wars when soldiers were killed in Shiroro, and you described it rightly as attack on the nation. We remember your firm assurance after Angwaruku massacre that such tragedy will not be repeated. Yet today, Nigerians continue to lose their lives across Kwara, Borno, Katsina, Niger, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Benue states as communities are ravaged, families displaced, and the countless citizens left to live in fear. There can be no meaningful progress under such conditions because security is a foundation upon which every other sector, education, healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing, transportation, and broader economy depends. When governance frameworks are weakened and democratic institutions are compromised, the consequences are far-reaching. The erosion of the separation of powers, the blurring of boundaries between the arms of government, and the weakening of the rule of law all contribute to a system that struggles to deliver to its people.
It is with great pride that we announce that the sacrifice of Nigerian workers have received global recognition. The 2026 Arthur Svensson International Prize for Trade Union Heroes have been awarded to the President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, Solidarity in honor of his courage and steadfast leadership in the face of intimidation and adversity. He will receive this award in Oslo, Norway on the 10th of June 2026. All comrades are invited to celebrate with our dear President of NLC. In conclusion, a call for action. As we mark this year's day, let our message be clear. We will not accept a future defined by poverty. We will not accept policies that deepen suffering. We will not accept a system that exploits the many of the benefits of the few. Together in unity, the solidarity, we will continue the struggle until fairness, equity, and dignity becomes the reality for all. Long live Nigerian workers. Long live the Nigerian Labour Congress. Long live the Trade Union Congress. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
From the Labour Ministry and the Presidency come solidarity messages and the assurances for improved workers' welfare.
We acknowledge the weight of economic hardship, the rising cost of living, and the threats posed by insecurity. These challenges are not abstract because they affect families, communities, and the very fabric of our nation. Yet, they also remind us of the urgent responsibility we share to create a safer, fairer, and more prosperous Nigeria, which the present administration is very much committed to. Great Nigerian workers, let me reassure you that the federal government remains steadfast in its commitment to wage reforms. The recently implemented minimum wage is not the end of our journey, but a step towards ensuring that every worker earns a living wage that reflects both dignity and fairness. Beyond wages, we are investing in job creation initiatives that empower our youth, strengthen industries, and expand opportunities. These we do through targeted programs in agriculture, technology, and infrastructure. We are laying the groundwork for sustainable employment that meets the aspirations of our people.
I assure you today that this administration is not resting on its work, nor is it indifferent to the plight of Nigerians. We are fully aware of the weight of these challenges and are confronting them with deliberate, coordinated, and sustained action. You can see this from the renewed vigor and commitment from our intentional policies, the resilience of our security men and women, some of whom have paid a supreme sacrifice, and to whom we remain eternally grateful. As you are aware, the federal government has launched the Community Protection Guards Initiative in partnership with state governments to further support the already existing legal and institutional security frameworks. This initiative has recruited and trained 45,000 young Nigerians who are not only securing communities, but also have been gainfully employed. This is a clear indication that we are creating decent jobs against the backdrop and recognition that security and employment must go hand in hand to make the required positive impact. You will agree with me that the theme also resonates with the priority of the renewed hope agenda of our administration, particularly as it relates to the protection of lives and property, lifting Nigerians out of poverty, food security, inclusivity, and youth empowerment.
On the sideline, Labour sector leaders make case for their members.
We are demanding robust security policy, that we protect every citizen, that we protect journalists in the course of their duty. We are demanding that the federal government prioritize reforms, particularly that has to do with welfare. We are demanding for better remuneration, because what it means for families, for journalists, it means underpaid pens cannot feed families. It also means delayed salaries can stifle creativity.
We believe that the last hope of common man is court, and which we have been doing good here. We won the first one, they took us to the other appeal courts, then we won again. We go back again for interpretation of the judgment, which they did us in our favor also again. So we appeal to federal government. They should look us our second time to be sure to help us about our judgment.
What we are advancing as local government workers is the issue of implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on independence, financial independence of local government. You could remember.
Parade by workers is a key feature for the day, and as the celebration winds down, workers are hoping that promises made at this occasion will translate to actions in the days ahead.
The theme for Workers' Day Nigeria focuses on insecurity and how it impacts decent work in the country. For more understanding, the spokesperson of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Benson Upah, joins us tonight on the program. Benson Upah.
Yes.
Welcome again to Deepen and Abuja.
Thank you, Kayla. It's always nice to be with you.
Happy Workers' Day.
Thank you so much.
How was the celebration?
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was?
Yes, it was. In spite of all the challenges in our lives today, you know, it's only once in a year we get to celebrate May Day in this manner. Old faces, new members, retired members and all of that, and our social partners all under one roof. So no matter how we feel deep inside us, the humanity in us always prevails. And we outstretched hands, a handshake here, a hug there, a peg there, and the march past.
You know, I say the worker is the hero of Nigeria's story.
Absolutely.
The worker is the hero of Nigeria's story. And it keys into the theme for this year.
Yes.
What informed that theme?
Yeah. First and foremost, for the purpose of the viewer, let me mention the theme. The theme is insecurity, poverty, bane of decent work.
Bane of decent work.
Yes. And what is decent work? Briefly from Convention 2011, number 89, and recommendation number 201. Decent work can be summed up as follows. It's productive employment that delivers on fair income or wages, social security or security in the workplace, social protection for families, and better prospects for personal development. We have as the pillars of decent work, popularly known as job creation, rights at workplace, social protection, social dialogue. These four pillars carry the weight of social dialogue. And if I'm not overstretching the argument, now, job creation. How many jobs have been created in the past 12 months, Kayla? In the organized private sector, in the public sector. The statistics we have has been minus. But we have these new generation companies, and that tell you no unions. If you insist, they throw you out as a worker, and if we go to unionize those workers, we knock on their gate, the first guests we have are the police with tear gas. So rights at workplace literally do not exist now. The government, as the regulator, looks the other way quite often times. I cannot explain why government has to do that. Either because they are too anxious to have investors come here, and the investors make all the rules and government disappears into the corner. Security, whether we admit it or not, has raised the cost of production, has led to closures in some areas. Poverty. We are now aware of the statistics of the World Bank, IMF, and other bodies, which of them say that we are multidimensionally poor, and that number, I think it used to be 130 million or so. I've forgotten now. That number has since grown to the extent that the middle class is gone. We have just two classes now: the poor and the rich. And the rich, just about 10%. So the 90%ers were in this leaking boat together.
For the political class in this country that will be listening to what you're saying right now,
yes,
could you help them understand what this means for the future of our country? Yeah. It does feel like sometimes when it feels very woe is me, oh, there they go again, crying about how things are not working out. But then I think in many ways, one of the ways to get me to do something is to show me how it will impact me.
Yes, yes.
So if our political class are watching us right now and want to know, oh, well, or they feel like this is not their business,
yes,
can you help them understand how this can impact them?
Yes, absolutely. Very, very thoughtful of you, Kayla. You know, there is one affliction. Chance money, emergency money, can dull our senses, can make us forget our history, can make us forget our responsibilities and obligations. In fact, we even believe that those who are poor, it's just that they're stupid, that is why they are poor. So I do not blame some of the politicians who behave like gangsters, who strut around with all the arrogance, with all their shoulders raised and their brows, you know. I do not blame them. But I must also say you have some politicians very, very sensitive, very patriotic, very concerned about what is happening to this nation. Now, coming to the second leg of your question, how this can affect everybody. Yes. About 20 years ago, I told a top government functionary, I say, this retrenchment you are causing, you are ordering, you are implementing, there will come a time your bulletproof jeeps won't save you. Your high wall fences will not save you. And the person told me, you are talking like a professional unionist. If we had this encounter on the floor of the National Assembly. So, the illusion often, for some of those who have, is that it won't get to me. But danger has a way of mutating. When you have people, so many people, hideously poor, thoroughly dispossessed, people who have lost their connect to the society, what you do or what you have done is that you have managed to create a non-society out of a society. And the non-society comes with its consequences.
As we wrap up right now,
yes.
I want you to speak directly to the Nigerian worker. We have a lot of workers right now who are saying they're going on strike.
Yes.
Just talk directly to the Nigerian worker about their plight right now and what should be at the back of their minds as we continue to work despite the problems that we face.
Yes. Well, I will first of all commend the resilience of the Nigerian worker and their intuitive spirit that in spite of the storms, the thunderstorms, the Nigerian worker always manages to survive. adaptation or adapting can be both positive and negative. They have adapted well. But at the same time, I have to urge them that there's a limit to adapting to hardship. So they should have the resilience to say, this is the last.
This is the line.
Yes, this line, we are not going beyond this line.
Okay. We are totally out of time.
So I would urge them first to continue to be patriotic, to continue to uphold the values of labor, to be inventive in their thoughts, and that when everything is down, they should remain standing, keep the flag of this country flying, because the greatest asset of a nation are its workforce.
Well, I have to thank you again for being with us on Deepen Abuja, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored by your kind words, Kayla. Keep up this good job.
Thank you. Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Happy Workers' Day in Nigeria, and may God continue to crown our efforts with blessings. Please remember to let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.